So recently I experienced a puncture in my tire, and upon researching various auto shops to take it to, I discovered it's about $20 to fix. Went on Amazon and found the Slime Tire Plug Kit. This video will instruct you quickly how to use it and how to use it properly. So the first thing you want to do is kick all the nuts loose. A prime tip would be to put the car into park and secure the e-brake. If you don't, as you'll watch me do here in a minute, when I turn the second bolt, the car will lurch forward. So get the car as stationary as possible by engaging all the parking features. After the car lurches forward, have the owner of the vehicle go into the car in front of the camera and put the e-brake on. A quick, easy life hack would be preset the jack at its almost maximum before it touches the frame of the vehicle. Otherwise, the jack's on the ground, you're sitting there spinning it for 10-15 minutes before it actually makes contact with the car. This jack was perfect because it was balanced nicely, so I could spin it in my hand without actually having to use the tool. However, as you'll see later, the jack that came with this Jeep didn't actually work to lift the rear tire off the ground. I'll explain that later. Now you can just easily hand remove each of the nuts from the wheel, with the exception of one of the bottom ones. As I'll explain later, when the tire is off the ground, the bottom of the tire actually protrudes outwards a little bit, making it a little bit difficult to get the last nut off, or in converse, on. As you can see, even though all bolts were loose before, I have to kick open the last nut on this tire. Finally, if it's not obvious, remove the tire. Locate and remove the foreign object. In this case, it was a Phillips screw, so I used my drill. However, because there was still full pressure in the tire, the air pressure pressed against the ridges of the screw and made it nearly impossible to remove. When you can't remove it just by using tools, put the tire on its side and then let the air out of the tire until it's easier to remove the foreign object. At this point, enough air came out of the tire, there wasn't enough back pressure. I could use my drill to remove the foreign object, in this case, a Phillips screw. At this point, you want to use the rasping tool, which roughens the edge of the rubber and allows a better connection between the rubber cement and the rubber plugs that come with the kit. Go ahead and insert the rasping tool. I used a rotational method plus a piercing method. The goal is basically just to get the hole rough for the cement to get better contact, get a better grip on the rubber surrounding. Now you want to grab your plunger, the rubber cement, and the additional plugs, rubber plugs that come with the kit. Now you got to prep it, and I use a pair of needle nose pliers to compress the tip of the rubber plug. It makes it easier to feed into the plunger tool. And then once it's fed into the plunger tool, give it a good coating on both sides of the rubber cement. When it's all said and done, plunge the plunging tool in there. Try not to rotate it a lot. If you can notice, I'm doing it very little. You don't want to go into 180 degrees. You want it to go as straight as possible in. And once there's about a 1/4 inch sticking out, pull it directly out, fully straight out as fast as you can, and it should remain inside the tire. Once it's fully inside, go ahead and cut off the excess. There will be a little knob on the end remaining, but that's fine because as the tire runs on the road, it'll wear it down and smooth eventually. So cut off the extra strips. After waiting about 10 minutes or so for the glue to dry, go ahead and replace the tire back on the vehicle. Once the tire's back on the vehicle, go ahead and hand tighten the nuts. As you'll notice, the bottom nut I tightened a little bit more because once you secure the bottom nut, it pushes the tire back in line with the vehicle. As I'm showing here, if the top ones are secured and the bottom ones only hand tighten, the springs and the way the tire sits on the actual bolts will push the bottom side outwards. So when you put the car back down on the ground, you won't be able to re-secure that bottom bolt. So secure the bottom bolts tightly before jacking it back down to the ground. Once you have it all hand tightened and the bottom bolt tighten a little bit further to make sure the tire is secure, jack it back down to the ground. As you'll see here, it's a different jack, because the jack that came with the Jeep didn't work. Once the car's back on the ground, go ahead and tighten those bolts up as far as you can. If you have a torque wrench, look up your manufacturer's specifications for how much torque per nut. Once you've done that, use the air compressor of your choice, and inside the driver's side door panel will be an actual pressure measurement for each tire. Find out what it is, and use your pump to inflate the tire to that exact PSI. Once you think the tire is fully reinflated, check it with your favorite pressure gauge. If it reads the right meter, perfect. Slap that cap back on and you're done. If you liked the video I just posted, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to share it, go ahead. I don't care, but if you liked it and it helped you, fantastic.